Yeah, I'd like to hear how you got here. So wait a minute, you've been hitchhiking you've just been like out of your backpack. This is what you live out of?
Yeah, this is everything I own right there. And a big bag full of books. I wrote a book that I put out earlier this year.
So are you connected to any place? Do you pay taxes? What's going on?
I pay taxes.
Am I going to be interviewing you, or are you going to be interviewing me?
It can be either way. We've already begun.
Okay, cheers. Let's start with Dorothy's. So I will tell you, Dorothy's is named after Clark's. Cheers.
Oh.
After Clark's grandmother.
Okay.
So this is the beer that we do first, everything on. So we bottled it first, we canned it first, we brew it first. Anytime we get a new piece of equipment, we do Dorothy's first on it.
Okay, kind of christen it with Dorothy's.
Yes.
Nice.
So,
That's the perfect way to start this tasting.
Yeah, exactly, with Dorothy's first. So we always do that. I forgot how good it is. So it's the first beer. Yeah. It's the first beer that we try when we're all like coming through and do orientation.
Yeah.
And the story of Dorothy's. Well, so I can start with the initial story of TG. Is so back in 2009, Clark Louie is our founder. Yeah. And Barb, his wife, bought him a home brew. Not in 2009, a little bit before that.
Yeah.
Bought him a home brew kit.
Classic.
He really got into it. There's all sorts of tall tales about how he blew up the garage and all these things. That's not really true, but I do think that there was some stickiness on stoves in the kitchen, and
yeah, well,
she
that's
was
to be expected.
Like, you gotta move out, you gotta start doing it. But his whole thing with beer is that back at the time it was kind of like the beginning of the craft beer type boom. But here in Northeast Iowa, you couldn't find any beers. Like you couldn't find the hazy beers. Yeah. We drink a lot of Busch Light here.
Right.
Amen to Busch Light, but it's not always our jam.
Yeah.
So he started brewing beer, and and then he if you go look at the little 5-gallon down there, he would brew one batch and sell it to his friends and share it with his friends. But and it started to get really big. But his grandmother was a beer enthusiast.
Yeah.
And she but she was like, I don't like those hazy ales or whatever. But
right.
Yeah. So his goal was to really brew a beer that his grandmother would enjoy, that his family would enjoy, that the people of Northeast Iowa who were not into into the hazy, into all the the craft hype.
Bitter IPAs.
Yes, 100%. So, so a beer that all of those folks would drink.
Perfect.
Yeah. So here it is. It's a California Common Crisp Lager. And it is our #1 selling beer in our tap room.
I can see why. It's as crisp as it gets.
Yeah, it's
a
really
hot day
great.
like today, sit out and drink some of these.
Pound some of these, sure, 100%.
Pretty nice.
So we always start everything with Dorothy's.
Cool.
Yeah.
Also, I'll tell you how I got here today.
Yeah, I would love to hear that.
Yeah, so
hitchhiking is kind of a rare art form, I think, now.
Yeah, it still works. Obviously, I got here.
Yeah.
That's when I emailed you earlier. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'll make it, because you never know. You know? And
I guess that's true.
Yeah, and I just got really lucky the last ride I got. So I was in Rochester last night at Forager.
Nice.
So this morning.
Great friends to the north.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent beer.
Yes.
Very cool people. So I got a ride from a mother and a daughter. They were going to the Spam Museum in Austin.
Texas?
No, there's in Austin, Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay.
And they kind of went out of their way to get me to Chatfield.
Yep.
Dropped me off there. A guy and his son then gave me a ride across town. And then this guy was going to Harmony. Do you know where that is?
Yes, I do.
There's a guy going to Harmony, but I told him I was coming here, and he's like, I'll just take you right there. It's not that much further. So he went out of his way and dropped me off right at the door.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how long are you staying in Decorah? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm kind of winging it. So maybe a couple nights. I was here once before, and there's the waterfall in town. And
yeah, Dunning Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so I
beautiful.
might go check that out again.
Yeah, you got to go right now in the middle of summer. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
They've redone a lot of the stonework around there also, so you can and there's a couple of points where you can hike up. It's a little bit more of an intermediate hike or whatever, but to get to the top, you could look over. Because, we're in the driftless area, so, if people think Iowa, we're in the middle of, flyover state, corn, soybeans, pigs, flat, But you get here to northeast Iowa, and it's like the driftless region. This is like the part that the glacier did not
gotcha.
Level.
Right.
So we've got
Still got the
bluffs
beauty.
and rivers and hills.
A lot of greenery.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice drive coming in.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the second one. This is a classic.
Yeah, this is classic. So this is our Pseudo Sue.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so Pseudo Sue is like our
That's great.
Yeah, flagship American pale ale. It's hazy. It was a hazy beer long before the American pale ales were hazy.
Yeah.
So prehistoric haze, maybe.
Prehistoric haze. That'd be a good name with your dinosaur theme too.
Yeah, 100%. So Pseudo Sue kind of came about from a beer that we had back in the day called Tsunami, which was like the precursor beer to Pseudo Sue. And so, when Mike, our brewer, was experimenting with making this hazy single citra hop pale ale, he knew he wanted to elevate it from our Tsunami brand.
Okay.
And it kind of morphed from there. And, the legend is that it said Pseudo Sue, which was TSU.
Oh, right.
Tsunami.
Yeah.
Pseudo Sue.
Huh.
There you go.
And then it became
And then, we've got a bit, beer and dinosaurs somehow go together.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know how, but you guys made it so.
Yes. That we don't know why that works, but it really does. And, we are great lovers of the Field Museum, and like Sue is the T-Rex, the full fossil T-Rex.
Oh, okay.
That is at the Chicago Field Museum.
Cool.
And so, Pseudo Sue.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got to go to that museum now.
Now you got to go there.
I got to film.
And you got to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I see people running around with the costumes on like your social media and stuff.
100%. They love that purple, and they love those dino suits.
Yeah, I saw them trying to catch pancakes for the thing you got going on
100%.
tomorrow.
So our videographer loves a suit. And it's just a purple dinosaur costume. But
it's classic.
He loves it, and it's fun. People like it. Keeps it lighthearted.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah, and Pseudo Sue, it just won at the U.S. Open Beer Champion. It won a gold medal for the Hazy American Pale Ale. So.
Congrats on that.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I brought you 3 of the winners, 3 of the 4 winners.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I was in Sioux City with my friend the other day, just on her couch drinking this beer and some cheese curds.
Cheese curds.
Magic. Pseudo Sue and cheese curds.
So I kind of brought you like a Sue family here.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is King Sue, this next one,
Alrighty.
which is the double citra. So this is a double IPA as opposed to American Pale Ale. And I'm not a brewer, so I don't have all the technicalities of when it becomes American Pale Ale and when it becomes an IPA. So I can't really give you that.
Yeah, I mean, people kind of blur the lines anyway.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So anyway, so this one is a double IPA. It is also done with a single citra hop. Okay. And it just won the gold medal. Cheers.
Another gold, huh?
Another gold at the U.S. Open Beer Championship for the New England style juicy double IPA.
And that is juicy and delicious.
Yes.
And clean all the way through.
100%. And
Beautiful.
King Sue is one of our most awarded beers out there. So yeah, I mean, it's awesome. Got mad scores on Beer Advocate, Rate Beer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just a dino classic.
Before coming here, I just looked, I was just going through your website and everything else, and then got lost in a Beer Advocate rabbit hole and noticed they have the list of the 250 top-rated beers, and 3 of your beers are in the top 10.
Yeah,
which is absolutely incredible.
Number 1 is KBBS.
Yep.
And then number 2, I think, is Vanilla Assassin Vanilla Bean.
Yep.
And number 7 is Morning Delight.
That's
at least the last time I looked at it.
Yeah.
So the stats can change, but yeah, we do have 3 out of the 3 in the top 10.
That's absolutely insane to me.
It is
One
insane.
brewery can account for. There's almost 10,000 breweries just in the U.S. right now. It's wild.
Yeah. So KBBS has been there at the number 1 spot since 2015, and you better believe that Mike Sabo, who is our executive brewmaster, He works very meticulously to keep that beer
On the top spot.
at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Because once you get there, it's real hard to
Everyone's
stay there.
gunning for you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So yeah, and he just released. So it was the 10-year of KBBS this past year, and he did KBBS Reserve, which was a double barrel KBBS. Which also won gold at Imperial Stout at the U.S. Open. So we just got all these awards on Monday, which is
crushing it.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
Gotta make room for
I know.
hanging these up.
So that is that was a very small amount of bottles. Not a lot of barrels made the cut for that particular beer, and it was the 10-year, so it was a very special release.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty cool.
So tomorrow is Morning Delight. What's that beer?
Tomorrow is Morning Delight. So tomorrow, just an Imperial Stout. It's done with syrup and coffee. And it is it's delicious.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm not
imagine
gonna
it
say
is.
it's nutritious, but it's just
nutritious.
it's delicious. And yeah, it's a highly awarded beer. It's a very drinkable stout. It's got that breakfast stout thing. It was one of the original breakfast stouts.
So that's why you're having the pancakes and everything
Yeah,
else. I saw you're gonna have
not?
a stout syrup going on.
We're gonna
too?
have a Morning Delight stout syrup.
That's
We
pretty
have done it
awesome.
before, so we know what it tastes like, but
Yeah.
we've never done it with the public before. So
Okay, just behind closed doors with the syrup, hoarding it for yourselves.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't really. Well, we've done it to try it for things like the kitchen experiments and stuff
Gotcha.
like that. So
Cool.
yeah. So it's gonna be fun. We haven't served breakfast during a release ever, and we're gonna flip some pancakes out there, and you have to catch them, and or at least catch one.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to catch them, that's okay. We won't make you do it.
No, you should make people
But you
do
should.
it.
But it will be fun.
Yeah,
So we're gonna
exactly.
do that in the morning, and then we're making smash burgers and doing all sorts of. We have a Fandango Island. We're gonna do some Fandango slushies and things like that.
It's gonna be fun here.
I know. You should come back up.
Starts at 8 a.m., right?
It starts at 8 a.m.
I very well might be back.
You should. You should come. Yeah, it'll be a good time for sure.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
So we got Seismic Sue
Seismic
coming up.
Sue. So this is kind of finishes off the trio, and where King Sue and Pseudo Sue have been with us for years and years. Seismic Sue is actually a new installment.
Oh, cool.
Cheers. And also a Citra Hop. Also a gold medal winner at the U.S. Beer Open, or U.S. Open Beer champion.
Yeah.
Also done Citra Hops, and this thing is like a 10%er or 9%
Oh,
but
wow.
it's so friggin' smooth.
Yeah,
Be
it
careful.
doesn't quite taste like 10%, but
It doesn't.
that's a sign of a good brewer,
It's
really.
really, yeah. I mean, because some triples, it's just so boozy or
Yeah,
harsh.
it can be over the top.
Yeah.
But no, this is still got the juiciness of the hazies that came before it.
total Citra bomb, and but be careful because there's a lot of alcohol in that one.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Hence the name Seismic Sue.
Seismic Sue, yeah. So that one, so that kind of finishes. That's like the trifecta of our Sue series. Now there are all sorts of double hop, or double dry hop Sues and mosaic Sues and galaxy Sues.
yeah.
But those are more like limited releases. Actually, Seismic is a limited release. King Sue and Pseudo Sue you can find year round at this moment in time.
Have you been canning the Seismic?
We canned it for the first time this year.
Oh, nice.
So we actually brought it back, or we introduced it in bottles.
Yeah.
It was in like a 21.9 bottle, maybe, or 21. I don't know the 100% the ounces, but we released it in a bottle the first time, just for nostalgia kind of sake. Bring a bottle back. I don't know. We got some bottle heads out there that are looking for bottles still.
Yeah,
Yes.
talking about wax tops yesterday. With, Austin and Forager.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a whole world.
Yeah, he gave me some awesome bottles I have here. I've never seen it like it. The small, clear bottles. They're less than maybe 10-ounce bottles, but with the wax top.
Wow, less than a 10. I mean, I've seen the little Dragon Milks ones and stuff, but I don't know that I've ever seen people take the time to wax the bottle that small.
Yeah, I'll show them to you afterwards.
That would be cool.
They're cool looking.
Yeah. Cool. And he's got Imperials in it, or is that what's that, Imperial Stouts? Or?
One of them is a blended stout, and I think the other one's a barley wine.
Yeah.
I have to check.
Oh, yeah.
Black barley wine, I called it.
Oh my gosh. So we have a black barley wine, Meteora, which is which we released this year, and it's going to be on tap tomorrow. So
Kind of have to come back.
you have to come back. All the big beers are tomorrow. And the really cool thing about that beer is, so Mike Sabo, who's our executive brewmaster, he is, he was kind of one of those kids who studied abroad.
Yeah.
And learned to brew beer in Germany.
Okay.
And could drink beer in Germany and those kind of things. And then when he came back home, obviously the legal drinking age is 21 or 18 or whatever it was here.
Yeah.
And, and so he was like, I can brew beer, no big deal. And, he did have that whole like chemistry type background, and he has an amazing story. At the end, they wanted him to go on to be a pharmacist, and his advisor was pushing him in that direction, and he's brilliant, he's very smart, and he was like, I'm going to be a brewer. And
Use your brilliance for beer.
Yes, he does. and he does. He's got a brilliant mind. He's definitely got the chemistry and all of that. And, he tells the story about burning the boats. He was like, he did not keep the pharmacist store open. He was
gotcha.
I'm going to burn the boat, say no, and then like, I have to go make this brewery thing work. So when he did that, so he like decided to, he had been working on this barley wine project a long time ago, and he was inspired by some other barley wines out there, but he really has been, he threw himself like a big bottle share, like, because he was going to go off and be a brewer. And, there was a couple barley wines in there, and one in specific, I believe it's called and I can't remember the brewer. I can't remember the brewery. I didn't realize I'd be telling this story. But anyway.
Put on the spot.
He was very inspired by that particular beer. And so he's been working on this black barley wine, barrel-aged for like 14 years.
Whoa.
So that's how meticulous he is in regards to like different variations or different barrels, or how the barrels react with the beer.
Yeah. That's incredible. 14 years?
14 years. I
don't think I've ever had a 14-year-old barrel-aged beer.
Well, not all the beer is 14 years old. It is a 14-year project of tweaking and changing your barrels and changing, deciding what goes where, if it comes back together, all these things. So his mind has kind of, he finally got it to a point. I did think they were going to drink it all before we actually released it, because it is really good. But, so Meteora is our first barrel-aged barley wine that has been released this year. And it will be on tap tomorrow, so you should come get some.
I'm pretty much locked in at this point.
Perfect. Great.
Cool.
Great.
So we got one more?
One more. So this one is Dragon Fandango.
Cheers.
Cheers. And this one is totally different than our other ones. So this is our tart, semi-sweet kettle sour, done with passion fruit, mango, and dragon fruit. So
it hits you from every angle.
It's so great, isn't it?
Yeah.
First, the color is beautiful.
Yep.
And then it's like, with sour beers, people are, you're either a sour beer or you're not, or you really enjoy them. This, it kind of, it takes people off guard. And once you're a Fandango fan, like, you're locked in.
Yeah. I was a little slow to the party with sour beers. I was never like against them, but I usually wouldn't order them.
Sure.
Then slowly I started getting into them. Then slowly I started being like, these ones suck and these ones are awesome.
And this is good and this one bad, and what happened with this strain?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Well, with the kettle sour, we were able to control a lot of the yeast and how the yeast operates and that kind of thing, and it's a closed environment.
You're not infecting.
Where, yes, exactly. Because we couldn't you'd have to have an entire separate brewery just to do sours or whether. So the kettle is enclosed. And we're able to control the flavors to this amazing tart, sweet delight. Yeah,
pretty perfect.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you, have you done any traveling yourself? Any beer trips or just regular?
I have not done a lot of beer trips. Oh my gosh, I have to think about it. Because like once you ask me that, I'm going to tell you no, but I'm sure I have.
Well, have you backpacked around Europe or road tripped around here and then accidentally gone to a brewery?
I personally have not been to Europe. My husband went to Belgium just to go to like
Right.
just the Belgian breweries. But he's not here to talk about that. But I have done a lot of like traveling around the United States.
Yeah.
And do stop at a brewery here or there around these parts specifically. I mean, I guess back in the day, Dogfish. I used to live in Delaware, and that's when Dogfish was just getting off.
I've been there a couple times.
Yeah.
So did you go there like early on when it was?
It was like real small, and
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Sam was like partying at the beach with everybody. Kind of gives you my age type thing, but yeah. So Dogfish Head was a big deal back in the day when I lived on the East Coast, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, and then.
I road tripped there with a girlfriend from Indiana.
Yeah.
And we drove through the night and actually slept in that Dogfish Head parking lot, waiting for them to open.
Yeah. So I lived there back in the 90s. So it's definitely been a while, but that was like the beginning of he had just started like brewing and had just become like a big thing.
Yeah. They blew up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And around these parts, I guess I've been down to Boulevard, Kansas City, Forager, obviously. I've been this early around here. New Glarus is good friends of ours, so.
Oh, thanks
have you
for
been
bringing
to New
that
Glarus?
up. I have not been there yet. I've had some of their beers, and now I'm kind of somewhere between Madison and St. Louis as far as my trajectory from here. I feel like I need to go.
I would not leave this area without going to New Glarus.
All right, I'm sold on that too. Things are coming together.
They are so that's like a family-owned employee, share brewery, and they only do Wisconsin. They don't ship out of the state of Wisconsin.
That's right.
Yeah.
I guess I've never seen them anywhere.
Yeah.
Except for.
Are you going to any other breweries here in Iowa?
In Iowa, the only other one I might go to is, because they were telling me yesterday, is Pulpit Rock right in town here.
Yes, so Pulpit's down the street.
Yeah.
Or on the other side of town, so you got to go over there. Pivo is over in Calmer, so 10, 15 minutes away. If you do start to travel down through Iowa, you got to stop at Big Grove. If you go to Des Moines, Big Grove, Lua, Exile, Confluence. So I guess I've been a few places.
Yeah, it's all coming out.
And then it's like,
now it's all coming
I
out.
don't know.
Have you been to Sioux City?
I have not been to Sioux City.
Okay, I was there a week or two ago, and I filmed it. There's one called Jackson Street, and up the road there's one called Jefferson, which is technically South Dakota.
I feel like I've heard of these because, our rep was out there for like a week. She's based in Minneapolis, but she was out on that side of the world. But anyway, no, I have not personally. I've only been in Iowa for 5 years.
Okay.
So still exploring Iowa and everything around it.
Ragbri kicked off when I was over there. I don't know if that's come through here before or nearby or.
It came through here in 2017.
Okay, this place must have been full.
This place was not existent.
Oh, when did you guys start?
Okay, so we were in a place on the other side of town you should go, called Dixie's Beer Garden now.
Okay.
So before, that is the original Toppling and Goliath location.
Gotcha.
And before it was Toppling Goliath, it was like a flower store.
Oh, wow.
I think it was a pizza shop at one time.
Okay.
So anyway, it's small.
Well, that place must have been bursting at the seams then.
It was insane. So I did do that leg of Ragbri that came through, and it was so busy, I just went around it. It was insane, like just bikes everywhere. That was down in 2017, in July 2017. We started brewing up here in October of 2017. So we moved all of our brewing here in 2017, and then this tap room opened on I think February 8th.
Okay.
2018.
It's a beautiful, big old space.
100%. And sometimes we're out of room.
Yeah, that's
not at this very moment in time, but
yeah, I'm sure tomorrow's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
But it's always good, people come and.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's a whole community, so.
Yeah, and you guys are renowned. My buddy just saw I was in Iowa, had no idea I was coming here, and just texted me. He's like, go to Toppling Goliath or you'll embarrass me. I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
not only am I going.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, tell him thank you for
Yeah.
sending you our way.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me and sitting down, chatting,
Yeah, 100%.
and making great beer.
Yes, thank you, Kenny. Thanks for coming.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
All right, how we do?
We did awesome.
Okay, great.
Let's go.